You good? Because welcome everyone to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I'm your host, Chris.
Yeah, you are.
As always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
What's up, people? How you doing?
And some guy named John.
Hey!
Whoa.
Hey! Came in hot. All up in the paint.
Jeez, yeah, you are.
I told you the...
No, I like it this way.
No, their ears don't.
I like to peek. I like peeking.
See, we want people to keep listening to us.
Yeah.
So
our goal is to sound professional and...
Yeah. When they hear...
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You picking up what I'm putting down?
Professionalese.
I'm not professional.
Professional D's?
Ooh.
Hey, yo, moo. Yeah. So,
Sean, I gotta say it.
yeah?
But it's been a while. That wasn't what I was gonna say.
Why are you all of a sudden burping so much?
I don't know. I'm into jesty.
Why?
Are you into Justy?
I had a beer
What?
You did?
with our friend of the show, Jeff.
Did you?
And I want him to know,
Oh, my God.
if he's listening, it was an honor. It was a privilege.
Don't do that.
What about me?
Yeah, you. I was about to say, it's been a while since I've had a beer with you. That incident on the podcast aside.
Oh,
Well,
That was pretty good beer. I didn't really...
Technically, the last time Chris was drunk, we didn't drink with him, but we had.
We had a...
Oh, we did.
well,
yeah,
we did
you
have,
had a peeper.
Yeah.
No, we had something else.
No, we had a
No, you
PBR.
had PBR.
Yeah.
You had American.
that night. Yeah.
But the other night, or that,
Oh, when we were at the
Good
bar, you and Jeff were drinking Lagunitas IPA.
what?
What were you drinking?
I was drinking Terrapin Hopsecutioner.
He's name-dropping beer.
No,
I am.
it sounds like another language.
I know we have beer listeners.
I'm going to go
because
back
they've
to...
sent us
We've
beer.
got at least one.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go back to that bar and I'm going to go, hey, can you get me that beer I had last week?
Who
are you?
The Terrapin Lagen Snapper Napper.
I don't know what it is. I'll point to it. I think I know what
The best part was, Jeff asked him to come. And John, at some point, even though he directly asked him, hey, do you want to go have a beer with us
He didn't
before
say
we go
beer.
pick
I
this
swear
game?
to God, he didn't say beer.
Why don't you look at your messages? Oh, Penny's calling you out right now.
It's IM.
Oh, okay.
What did she hear that we didn't?
I'm going to go with Jeff on this. I don't know.
He mentioned 7:45.
Ah,
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about plans to last week pick up a video game,
Spider-Man.
and Jeff was
they don't know that because that's not the topic. They don't know
Jeff
what the
was-
topic is.
If
Jeff
it's
was-
not the topic, we should fire ourselves.
It's okay. I'm not talking. I'm not talking, guys.
Well, it's not important. It's not more important than what I had to say.
That's true.
I'm sorry. Continue.
How's your Red Bull? Is that a new flavor?
No, it's not. Continue.
Sounds like you're saying important.
And I know he mentioned 7:45 as a time to meet up, but I didn't read beer anywhere.
He probably said like drink or beverage.
Maybe he
He
said
might
that.
have
And
said
if you
grab
know-
a beverage, and if you know him,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, that's just an unspoken. What did you think we were going to go have a tab?
That's a tab.
This clear Pepsi is delicious.
I've never had a tab. What do they taste like?
It's a diet soda.
Just ugh.
Not good.
I
Tastes
used to,
like the 70s and failed marketing. That's what it tastes like.
I used to buy them because I was buying in college. I was buying Diet Dr Pepper, and my
And an
roommate,
adult-
just in college.
and my roommate,
Damn,
my roommate James, who actually works where we work. I don't know if you guys ever met him, but
James? Which one?
I don't want to do the last name. I'll tell you later. Though.
Yeah.
He would just say, "Hey John, I'm going to gank one of your drinks," and he would just take them. And I was breastfed on Tab.
Oh.
In other words, I mean, diet drinks were just something they tasted better to me than regular soda. So I just bought Tab as a retaliatory thing. And he goes, "Hey
Whoa.
man, I'm going to
That's a
gank
great
one of your
word.
drinks," and he takes a sip of Tab and he goes, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah.
It's a bad impression, but
That's
he was
terrible.
kinda terrible.
I don't even know him, but
Yeah. I
Right,
hope
maybe
he's
I
better
do.
than that.
he never touched my drinks again.
I'm
Thanks
glad.
for listening.
Hey, have you ever had a cheer wine?
Penny is murdered.
Yeah, those
her
things
toy.
are gross.
Really?
I don't like them.
You don't like cheer wines? Have you ever had a cheer wine?
I don't think I have.
I had not. Into my adulthood, we were coming back from a concert like up north. North for me, of course, is like Tennessee or North Carolina. And, because of where we're at, obviously. And friend of the show, Mike, not Ryan Leaf, the other one, Tesla Mike. He's
Tesla
like,
Mike.
we stop at like a Bojangles or something, and they had cheer wine.
Bojangles.
Did cheer on tap? They
Oh,
had
cherry
cheer
wine. I don't
Cheer
know.
wine.
Is that how it is?
It's
Yeah,
like
I do know what you're talking about.
It's like a. Is it a cherry soda?
Yeah, it's very cherry.
I know what you're talking about.
It's so
I
cherry
have
that
had
it's
that.
very
I
cherry.
hear wine and I'm just thinking like,
Of course you are.
I'm not a huge wine drinker.
Not either.
I like a good cab.
You know, if I want to get fancy, I get me a bottle of Arbor Mist and I just do it up real big.
Speaking of
Boone's Farm.
Speaking of funny drinks
God.
like a Boone's Farm or something from maybe your childhood, I've seen posts recently of, when I say childhood, I mean youth. Better word. Thank you, John. That Zima has made a return.
It has. It's been back for a little while.
Been back for a while. Yeah, Zima. I've seen it recently. A lot of people.
never had a
posting.
Zima.
I haven't either. What's
Is
the
it-
deal with the Zima? Is it
is it not-
alcoholic?
Yes, it is. It's like a malt beverage.
So like a Whopper.
It's like, think of like Mike's Hard Lemonade before there was Mike's Hard Lemonade, but without lemonade taste more.
I'm
just
in.
I like
Kind of like,
I like
think
a
of
Mike's Hard Lemonade.
What's a good way to say it? Like, have you ever had like the Smirnoff ices?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of something like that in that vein.
I want to get hammered off Zimas now.
Oh,
I
people
used,
love
to
them.
get, I used to get hammered off Smirnoff ices.
Well, yeah, because those things,
Because I'm such a girl.
people like, no, people think when they look at those that they are light alcoholic drinks. They're not. Like, most of the time, they're higher ABVs than ABVs than most beer that you drink out there.
Is
Alcohol
ABV
by volume?
Yes. Good
high
job.
five
Good
right
job.
here, non-alcoholic drinker guy.
What?
You're you're not.
I just can't hold my liquor.
Oh,
I drink it. I just
Like, he took one sip and he fell off his bar stool. that literally happened.
did you get tipsy?
I crapped my pants. I did get a little tipsy.
Yeah.
No,
I had half of they had these tall mugs. I had this little glass.
Did y'all go to EB or GameStop?
EB.
EB apparently had food and everything for you
They
guys.
did.
Yeah,
They did.
Good,
Yeah.
good of you to come.
Our friend.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. Why throw shade right now?
I wasn't.
That was total shade throwage.
I was more just
It
like,
wasn't
where's
shade.
Sean?
It was directly at you.
Yeah.
Shade implies that
No,
it was
when
under
you-
the radar.
No, it's not. No, you've got that wrong.
Oh,
Or you're those, either you're one of those big.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well,
no.
now they know.
Oh,
Grab
no.
that.
Yeah, we need to grab
Grab
that,
it.
'cause
Grab it now.
She's
Can you-
destroyed it.
Can you imagine if she swallowed it?
Yeah, probably.
And
She
that's
probably will.
That's terrible. Why would you give her that?
Because I got to do something with them. I got like 5,000.
Save it.
It could be worth
It's just
something.
Not even that. It's just his desk is empty.
Yeah.
Put that on it.
Oh, that's not true. I got some pops on there.
I got some paps.
Some Pabs. Old Iron Giants out there.
What else did you guys do this week? That's interesting enough to share.
I saw the Meg.
Did you?
It was pretty funny. It was
I
pretty cool.
bet.
I've
It was
heard
not. It's not at all a bad movie.
That's what I've heard. Like,
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It knows
I've heard
exactly what it is.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've heard it's like, it's a bad movie that understands it's a bad movie, and those are the best kinds of bad
Sure.
movies. Like,
But
it's
the
not trying to
pacing was.
aspire
But the
to be
pacing
anything.
was good. The way they discovered the shark is really smart. I mean, the story was.
Hold on here. Something froze for a second. Are we good? Okay, yeah, we're good.
The story was really good. The way they discovered the megalodon, and
The
yeah,
megalodon.
and plus it had Dwight. So yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Good move.
Dwight Schrute's in there, isn't he? Rainn Wilson.
Ryan.
Is it Ryan?
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it. It
thought
does
it was
sound. It does look like it's rain, but it's Ryan.
You know what I learned out that you pronounce right? So there's things at places, right?
Ooh.
Like an Arby's or
Yeah.
a Mediterranean place, and it's spelled Gyro.
Euro. Yeah,
You already knew that.
gyro.
You knew that. I learned today that it's Euro.
I love when
I
people
could.
say gyros.
I actually knew that.
But
still
you've
say-
never called it. You've never called it that in front of me, or
I
you
do.
would have got credit for it.
Probably because I'm usually the first one in line, and you're back there talking it up with everyone.
Chris,
while I'm
is
going
it-
like,
is
"Can
it
I get a hero?"
Is it Chipotle or Chipotle?
Chipotle, Chipotle, Chop.
This guy. That place I'm never eating at again.
We're going there tonight.
Okay.
Well, that would be good tonight.
Okay. Y'all have fun.
But I would love some Jimmy John's.
We could always go somewhere on the north side because I do need to switch over pre-order now.
You could do that tomorrow.
I could, but I'm just looking for an excuse to go in that direction. So, and some people they have this really picky thing going on. So
He's talking
I'm
about
trying
me?
I'm trying to give them more options.
He's talking about me.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I
We'll
don't
just
want to
call
go to Chipotle.
We'll just call them Han Shaywood.
Just because I don't want to go to Chipotle, I'm all of a sudden
Yes.
that guy.
Yes, Han, you are.
I'll go to the Chipotle on the north side.
What do you want for dinner?
I don't know yet.
Oh.
Jimmy John's?
I kind of want no. Didn't we do this
funny.
last week?
I mean, we did Jimmy. We
Guess
did.
we're going Chick-fil-A, guys.
We did Chipotle for like 2 months straight.
Yeah, we did. It was great.
So we got to do Jimmy John's for 2 months straight.
I'm totally fine.
Buckle
with
up, Sean. I'm sorry, Han.
Did you do anything?
that. I did one thing this weekend.
Yeah, you did.
And like literally it started, I had a beer with John. I picked up something and then I texted John at like yesterday about 2:00 in the afternoon. And that was kind of like it's done moment. So
Yeah. I didn't really, I watched some HBO stuff
what'd you watch?
when I wasn't playing Spider-Man. I
don't know what it is.
I watched the Hard Knocks Cleveland Browns.
I'd already watched it. Yeah, that's good.
I'm actually a Cleveland fan. I've been saying it forever.
Did you watch the last episode?
Yeah.
The most BS thing is that last part. Like hey, Baker, come on in here. We just want to let you know that you're going to be the backup. And like they have Deshaun Kaiser, whoever it was in the room too. He's like, just want you both to know that.
It's not Deshaun Kaiser. He plays for the Packers.
No
Deshaun anything.
It's something that started with the D.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name. Drew
Stanton.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Deshaun Kaiser, a.k.a. Drew Stanton.
There you go. It's the same thing. I mean, everyone's been calling him Terod.
What was BS for me?
But like that whole entire scene, I was like, why? Like that was the one point I was like, HBO asked them to do that scene because there's no reason to do it because everyone knows Baker Mayfield's the backup.
Possible.
I mean, like
I haven't watched any of their Hard Knocks. So
Yeah.
do all the people that they focus on never make the team?
It's a documentary. You gotta pick who.
Everybody
it is.
but Baker Mayfield
Yeah.
didn't make the team.
Even that one guy, you're like, oh, he made it, and then like 20 seconds later, by the way, we want to pick this guy up from waivers, so
You're out.
You're out.
You're like, what? See, John, football is. And I also watched.
I watched the Georgia game.
I watched in the age.
They dominated.
We did watch some college football this weekend, of course.
Roll Tide, though.
Roll Tide. But I watched the Concert for Valor from 2014. It was a big concert they had for Veterans Day in Washington, D.C.
Good.
With a mixture of acts from Dave Grohl and Metallica to Rihanna and Eminem, Bruce Springsteen. It was just a concert, and it was for Valor. And there were inspiring
Bruce probably
stories.
at some point went, what?
He did his set acoustically.
Really?
And I gotta say, I fast forwarded through Bruce's
You
acoustic
would do
set.
that.
It was
Why do you
terrible.
hate New York and New Jersey?
I don't. First of all, they have the best bagels and pizza.
Why do you hate their most like prodigal son?
This Bruce Springsteen's the most New York.
The most New Jersey.
He's
can't
from
think
Long Island.
No, he's from New Jersey.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Well, he would
I don't
know.
like how he kind of closed his eyes a little bit when he did the head nod to just reiterate that he was correct.
When he,
I mean,
tells,
like,
you,
the only
when he
person-
tells you a bit of information that he's proud of knowing, he does.
He goes.
We'll go ask Josh.
I'm sure he's right about New Jersey. I ain't gonna beef with that.
Yeah.
He
would know. I wouldn't.
Fun fact, my mom.
Why? Because he's from there too.
I thought I read a list once. Yeah, he's from there. Famous people from Long Island. Now he could have been Billy Joel.
That's who it is.
I was going to
You
say
are
he's
thinking
more. He's more than Bruce.
that. Yeah. Billy Joel's always been associated with New York.
And we know who the pride of Long Island is.
We do. Fun fact.
I don't
my
know
mom
who it is. Who is
from
it,
Long
John?
Island.
Huh?
Fun fact, my mom, originally from Long Island. That's where she grew up.
Hey, who's the pride of Long Island?
Colin Moriarty.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted the people to hear it because
Dubbed by-
we have to assume that not everybody knows that.
Dubbed
John.
by his ex-best friend.
Yeah. It's just sad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Pride of Long
But yeah, some college football happened. The NFL season kicked off.
By the way, so we play Texas A&M.
He was in the middle of a
2
thought.
weeks. So just FYI on that, we play Texas A&M.
I'll have a gig. I won't watch it. I'll be able to watch this
Did
weekend.
you
I
watch
think.
them on Saturday night?
I'm not worried about them. Of course you're gonna. This is why I hate.
Me,
I don't ever want to talk to you about football again.
I'm just saying. I'm saying.
I'm starting to.
watch.
I'm doing the thing where I'm going to turn into what I turn into.
You do realize, like, outside of a bad call, there's a good chance they would beat Clemson.
Do you understand if it's week 2 And Clemson was on the road in a very hostile environment.
True. I agree.
And the coach, for whatever reason, and Dabo admitted this after the game, that he may have he left a one quarterback in because of
he was switching back and forth.
The other guy, if they left him in, they blow them out, I think.
That was possible. Very possible.
I mean, I'm just saying.
The big thing I noticed in the game was that they have a new Mike Evans and they have a quarterback. And those are the two things that I was
quarterback reminds me of.
No, he's not like Johnny Manziel.
No.
Like the quarterback, but he looks good. He looks solid.
He's all right. He doesn't look like a quarterback to me.
What does that mean?
He's like, he looks more like a receiver. He doesn't look like a.
He looks like a running back to me.
You think, to me, he's long and slender and he just looks like he'd be a great wide receiver, but he can run. And he kind of reminds me of how when Colin Kaepernick played football, that's how he looked quarterbacking.
I don't know about you guys.
He's smaller.
But I am so high, I can hear heaven.
Ooh. What does that even mean?
You're not there yet.
Did you
hold off on that? We're going to get to that.
Did you take some medicine?
I don't know.
Huh?
I think John's trying to pivot.
It's not time to pivot.
Okay, Sean.
No,
go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
You know what? Because
I'm
now
sorry.
it goes
Please
from,
don't hate me.
It goes from
I can't
organic
bear it if you hate
talking
me.
and everything to abrupt stop. Mechanically, let's just make this happen.
Yeah, you're right. I totally threw a wrench into the gears. It was bad, Jonathan. Bad.
No more football talk. We're done. Let's do it.
We already told.
By the way, the Redskins won, and I hate Kirk Cousins.
The Browns didn't lose. Let's go to the topic.
I don't like Kirk Cousins anymore, and Alex Smith is the savior. So there's that. I had that too.
This feels organic.
It is.
Huh?
Because you made it organic. You're processed food. You didn't come from a farm. Let's go to the topic.
Topic time.
The topic is Spider-Man. Spider-Man.
Oh my god, that's so. My skin feels weird. Like I just want to.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's very.
We're talking about Spider-Man.
Spider Pig. Spider Pig.
So
does whatever.
I need that in the
Pig
sequel.
does.
I need that in the sequel. By the way.
What sequel?
To whenever they make the sequel.
Oh, The Simpsons.
No, this.
Oh,
yeah. I want Spider-Ham in a game.
Oh, Spider-Ham.
I think it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Different universe Spider-Man. Where everyone's a pig.
There was a side mission that I dubbed that guy Spider-Ham because he was fat in his Spider-Man suit.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
But he could throw them bows, though. Johnny had some fist on him. Bows. Yeah, man.
People's elbow.
It is out.
It is out, dude.
And you know what?
Hey, you got something hooked up that we normally don't. This is amazing.
The whole entire weekend, I saw John. I saw John when I picked up this game at 9 p.m. on Thursday. I ran home. I installed this game.
So he ran home. He did not want to wait with me. Yeah. He was like he get that look in his face, like he's standing there in line, but he's waiting for you to dismiss him from the line.
Like you could be on the ledge of a building being like, please, Chris, save me. And I'd be like, I gotta
home
go.
to play.
Spider-Man just came out, dude. I just picked it up. I gotta go.
Here's a rope. Just figured it out. It's not tied to anything.
It actually, the inverted. Oh.
Yeah.
It's meant to like,
a lot of games do that with their sleeves.
What I'm owing about John took Chris's copy of Spider-Man and tell him what you did, John.
I took the sleeve out of the box and inverted it rather.
Don't you feel entitled to do that to other people's possessions?
There's an art piece.
It's an alternate art piece.
Which looks really sharp.
Yeah,
and then on the back of it, it's got the
Spider-Man logo.
And
then on the actual spine, it actually still says PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I thought
that's good stuff.
Basically, you confirm what you said.
How did she get it back?
I think you put it down.
Oh yeah, I probably did. Oh well,
that's funny.
That's hilarious though.
So yeah, we played the Spider-Man.
We put many hours into Spider-Man this weekend.
Oh really?
We played with our Peter.
How many hours I put into Spider-Man this week?
We know you.
I can't tell you exactly.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil what he wants to spoil. Chris Platinum the game. He played more than us.
I don't care about that. But
there you go. You win, Chris.
I timed it.
1-0.
I timed it the whole entire time. I got this game Thursday.
You stopped watching it?
Yes, for 32 straight hours, pretty much. Jeez. Outside of watching football, that was the one thing I took a break for.
Did you sleep?
And sleeping. Those were the two things I did this weekend. I slept, and and for the record, I put my phone right here, right, and put game day on it, and just went and did everything I could.
So is this one of these platinums, like I was saying last week, is a matter of just putting in time, or is there some...
Yeah. You can't miss anything. It's just, it's being committed and going. And most of it, like, as long as you're doing it, it's not a big deal. Like all things as they pop up naturally through the game, like when the backpacks pop up, you go do them.
Whoa, there's backpacks? Spoilers.
Yeah, I know, spoilers.
That's not a spoiler. Story is spoiler. We can talk about all the other stuff, okay? Let's go ahead and clear that up now. No story talk, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, guys? A little bit?
No story talk.
We can give a tiny setup, but that's
if
about it.
If you put the tip in, you never know what's going to happen, Chris. I'm just putting that out there.
But anyways, really, though, the majority...
Best game ever.
Did you have
the majority of the weekend? Really, I just sat here and I swang through the city, and
he
as I
swang.
did,
swang.
He said swang.
I swang through that city.
Not even on a PBR. He said swang.
He did.
I swang through that city, and all I really did was I put my favorite band on, and I just went where I had to go. It was high as an eagle where I was. I'm not gonna stand and wait. God, I hate that band.
Yeah,
but that was really all I did.
Well, that just happened.
Yes.
No, I'll never forget when the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie when the credits rolled and I heard that song.
Yeah,
I was like, that's awesome. That's an awesome.
It goes together, man.
It does.
It really does.
Especially because when you go back and you watch those,
nobody goes back and watches those.
I would watch Spider-Man 2 anytime.
I rewatched that.
I love Spider-Man 2. It is the greatest superhero movie ever made.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to think that at one point.
It's fantastic.
And I went back and I rewatched it.
I believe there's a hero in all of us.
Yeah. I rewatched it and I was like, you know what?
Makes us strong and brave.
That's the best part.
It is the best part. I weep every time I see that scene.
I'll say,
Aunt May, man.
I went back and I rewatched it this week, like in anticipation, because I wanted to start with Spider-Man 1, but get this.
Spider-Man 3 is the only one on Netflix right now.
You can't rent Spider-Man 1 anywhere. You have to either buy it digitally or
you can't buy it rent it on Amazon?
You can't buy it. He's making it seem like it's unattainable.
No, I'm saying like if you just want to watch it
you can't find it anywhere, dude. There's nowhere to rent it.
Sony?
But that's literally not what I just said.
It's got to be on PlayStation.
No, only to buy. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Crazy.
Now to be fair, it's only $10, but I was like, I'm not about to spend $10.
The first one's really good.
I don't like the first one that much.
So
outside of William Dafoe.
The Green Goblin.
That part.
Yeah.
But like, I went back and I watched Spider-Man 2. I was like, I'll respect this for what it is. Like, kind of like the way at Tim Burton when you go back now compared to when you've seen Batman done the last 10 years, right? And I'll be like, I can understand what it was for its time and respect it. But on the other hand, like as I've gone back, I'm like, certain things of this do not hold up as well as I thought they did.
It's funny. I was watching The Dark Knight last week. Dark Knight? Yeah. Dark Knight last week with Aiden. And I felt that exact same way. I'm like,
well, you're a hater.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not a hater. I'm like, whoa, this seems a little, this seems old. This movie seems old.
That one's different than anything. But it's just one of those things.
You go back and you realize that the pacing of it is not as sharp as you remember it was.
That's the big thing with Spider-Man. Like I forgot with Spider-Man 2, I forgot like the first 40 minutes of that movie are just a snooze fest.
What?
Of Spider-Man 2.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, look how hard Peter's life is. It's so hard to be Peter Parker. That's literally what it is for the first 40 minutes of that movie.
Well, it is.
And then Doc Ock shows up, and it's awesome. Because Alfred Molina is great in that movie. And there's a train scene, and he does that.
That's a great scene.
Yeah, that is a great scene. That's the one part that really holds
all right.
If I think about it, honestly, if I think about it, I'm a little bit too boastful with Spider-Man 2. I think Homecoming's probably a better film.
That's probably fair.
So
that's fair. Speaking of Spider-Man 2, though, before this game came out, you asked most gamers what was their favorite Spider-Man game. They probably would said
the Spider-Man 2 game based on the film. From Treyarch, actually.
Yes.
Hey, fun fact. They had a little something going on
It was so weird.
This weekend.
Or they had a beta.
Or now.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, they it's a private beta that they've brought in the Battle Royale, or as John called it at lunch today. What did you say, John?
I don't remember the arena Fortnite thingy.
They got the Fortnite thing in Call of Duty.
They got the Fortnite thing.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, this is a rare time. We all three bought this game.
Yeah,
and we all three put in some work. Chris, like I mentioned jokingly, he has platinum. He's beat it, so he knows things we don't know.
And Chris took Friday off as well as Monday off.
Yeah,
so he had himself a 4-day weekend. I personally had a 13-year-old kid that I was fighting over this. I never fight my kid over video games. He plays what he wants. I play what I want. I didn't expect this. I probably should have, but I didn't expect this. Dude. The moment I got home on Friday, he was sitting in my chair playing my game.
Similar story.
I'm almost 40 years old.
Look, my little brother, who's going to be 16 sometime this year, he's an Xbox guy, so he wasn't going to be able to get this game. And I go, hey, you want to check it out for a minute? He starts just balling out in Spider-Man to the point where he creates his own save file.
Yeah.
I was at a certain point. He starts over to get back and keep playing. So when I'm not there, he can play Spider-Man because, you guys, how awesome is it when you start swinging through the city?
See, that was the big thing of everything that this game could be. I was like, I'm going to know within 5 minutes if this is going to be something that I enjoy, because I think if you ask people why Spider-Man 2 was such a huge payoff, right? It was because swinging around New York felt authentic and fun to do. Like it had this physics-based system, so you kind of had to work to get your momentum and get height, and it was different between releasing high and releasing at the bottom of your swing to get speed. Like, if they could nail that, then I was like, I'm good. We'll figure the rest out. I will at least beat this game and be fine with it. But yeah, they took that and perfected it. That is the best I've ever felt like moving around in an open world. Definitely a superhero game.
They need to figure out some way to implement that into the next Zelda game.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is within probably 20, 30 minutes I'm playing it, I text you, or we're talking, you're asking me how I'm liking it, and I apparently didn't quite read the tutorial correctly when you first start swinging what it tells you to do. I was struggling.
Yeah, I was a little bit, because I didn't realize you had to consistently hold down the right trigger.
But now that I know that mechanic,
I thought you would hold it down, let it go, but as soon as you let it go, he lets go.
Yes.
So that took about 10 minutes.
This studio's impressed me so much. Going into the game, we all knew the fighting looked like boss, right? It reminded us of Batman. I didn't expect little things like when you're swinging through the city, how that Marvel universe music, is that what it is? That kind of
it's an original soundtrack, but yeah, it's great.
It's Marvel-esque.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes with you, and as you really start swinging, the volume of it picks up, and as you kind of stop, it fades down to kind of get you into wherever you're going.
They went so far with this.
It's so cool, the little stuff they do like that.
They went so far with this in sound. I saw Polygon had posted it. Peter, when he's talking to people, like through communication as he's Spider-Man, right? If you're just on the ground walking around, he talks one way versus like when you're swinging. Like he sounds more like he's exerting.
Yeah. He absolutely does. Yeah. Like he's like, yeah. And he's got like he's catching his breath. He's a little winded in some spots depending on what especially if you've got him doing some parquet type stuff in between him swinging. What's it called?
Parkour.
I say parquet. Was I thinking of the Boston Celtics
or
basketball floor?
About,
or butter. Yeah. Parkour. Why did I say parquet? Am I hungry? Do I want Jimmy John's?
That's funny.
But yeah, and so you immediately realize how big this city is, right?
Yes.
It's like it's the Isle of Manhattan.
And there's two, no kid. The two things that immediately strike you within the first 10 minutes of the game is, one, they mastered the swinging, like we already talked about, trading wives and husbands. And then the city itself.
Yeah.
And not to name drop, but
are you doing
I watched a video Colin Moriarty did, who's from Long Island, and he pretty much said, seeing this city virtually every day of my life, they nailed the city.
That's dope.
It is just it's just breathtaking.
Sure.
Finding perching on certain buildings, you're blown away by the lighting, the God rays that you see. I'm not even sure whether I like it better at night or during the day. They're both breathtaking.
Sunset is amazing.
Nice. Sunset
There's
is
a
nice.
couple of times where the game does like a time lapse effect because whatever you're doing, and this has happened. I don't want to get too far ahead, but aside from the main mission, there are some side missions you can possibly do, and a couple of the side missions go ahead and make it dark. So that was my first time of seeing it being dark.
Yeah. And sometimes it rains.
Yeah. And like John said, I don't think I was expecting it to look as beautiful as it does. I know that may sound stupid. You're like, dude, you're playing on PlayStation 4. Well, you know, it's going to look like.
Well, you know, they removed puddles, so obviously it's the most worst looking game ever.
Puddlegate. Right?
That was, Puddlegate. There's one thing I hate about video gamers sometimes. It's like, prior to release of things,
nitpicking all kind of stuff.
They get like one little snippet about something and they have no perspective of the full game or whatever, right? They've yet to play it and they just fixate on it instead of just waiting to see. Because, you know, yes, if there was going to be major graphics issues, there had been a huge downgrade. Obviously, reviewers would have talked about that.
Well, that's why we have the media to tell them how stupid they are.
Yeah. You know, they were on this.
Because that helps.
Yeah.
It stems back from the whole Watch Dogs thing back in the day.
Yeah, and that's a fair one.
People don't realize, and I'm the last person to lecture somebody on this, but you have to understand the nuance of game development and look.
A vertical slice versus a full game.
A vertical slice versus a full game, plus the fact that, you know, in the demo you might have seen really awesome puddles, but they had to maybe scale back for budget regions. You never know. And that's why you see at the bottom of most demos now at E3 and things, this is
work in progress.
This is a work in progress.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, like, from what I read,
because I think they sued people for Watch Dogs. Gamers actually
some did.
Filed lawsuits for it.
Nah, I don't get that. Like, they did the same thing with The Witcher. And I'm like, that's amazing when you think about it.
That's a beautiful game.
A game that won Game of the Year from countless number of people. There was a little sub community of people who were like, it didn't look the same when they first showed it back in 2012. That game looked better. I want that game.
I want to hear these people talk more.
That's how they talk. I don't like it. 0 stars, and you know, it's just the worst game ever. And you're like, come on. It's just, I'm glad that I had faith the whole entire time. Like, look, if Insomniac had to downgrade something, they seem like the kind of company that would just say it.
Sure.
And I don't see any evidence of like them sacrificing, because they're over there fixating about puddle, right? Mm-hmm. They haven't seen the late game. I've seen, you know, of course, and I don't want to spoil, but it's like I've seen some of the boss fights and all that kind of things towards the end of the game and the graphical things that go on there. And I will tell you this, they're intense. You know, they're really pretty.
Yeah, the set pieces are just they're Uncharted level. I mean, they're just really well done. So
a friend of mine, and obviously you guys is too, Jeff's brother Darren. I get a text from him that says the greatest action sequence ever just happened.
Ooh.
And I don't know what.
I wish I could talk about it.
And when I just started giggling because I immediately thought of, you know, like an Uncharted type or God of War type action sequence.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow.
The best sequence so far, which I will not go walk through, happened for me 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. But the tough part of it is Aiden is technically, I think, further on in the story than I am, because he's not really he still hasn't opened up all the radio towers.
Ah.
But it's so, from a guy who has OCD, raising a kid that doesn't have OCD.
I don't have OCD and I had to do that first.
So,
I just had to.
There's a scene where he's in this action sequence and it ends and you go, dude, the way it ends, he's just, dude. But I saw Aiden do it first, and when I saw it, I went, dude, dang it.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't experiencing it the way he was.
Yeah. You should tell him to wait and just
go
play
upstairs.
The game. Yeah. Be like, you can play this game when I'm not here. Otherwise, no.
To be honest, I was so happy that he was interested in something I was interested in that I was like, you know what?
Go
play when you want to play. I'll do my thing here. I'll play Mario Odyssey or something on the Switch, or
He just wanted
Mega Man 11
callback. A little callback. I like it.
Yeah,
shades. But it was really weird playing this because, I've played a lot of open world games and I've of course played the Arkham series like John here. And I have to say, it was real quick where I was just like, this is the best superhero game I've played. And I was like, and that's no disrespect to Batman. John knows I love Arkham Asylum. That is a great game.
You and me both, man.
It's a good
but
game.
like as soon as I started playing this, I was like, God, this makes Arkham Knight and Arkham City look like amateur hour as far as personally for me as I was going. I was like, just the fact that there are people on the street and they respond to you. Like, have you guys like just walked around New York and they're just like, what up, Spidey? And you're giving a high five.
Some of them you're giving high fives and some of them are like, what do you have a horrible like face or skin condition under that?
And this could be
cool.
This could be because of technology restrictions. I don't know, but this is doing something that it seemed at least Arkham Knight, even Arkham Knight was still afraid to do. Because it figured out a way in those games to empty out the city.
Yeah, it was like they never wanted to just put Batman in Gotham, right? And say, here he is. It's Gotham, and this is a living, breathing thing. And here he is. It's more of like, look.
But at the same time, can you see Batman high-fiving pedestrians?
No. The characters don't. You're right. It doesn't. Batman doesn't. It doesn't work.
He's not user-friendly.
But still,
he's going to stay in the shadows. He's going to do his thing, and cool.
But like, how cool would it be, like, if you are perched on like a rooftop, right? And all of a sudden, some guy just starts to randomly start mugging a person, like you hear the cries and you just jump down your Batman.
Or you just see busy traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something.
Sure. Anything.
I don't know.
And I think that's like...
It would have to be a very different approach.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
But and that conversation kind of... One of the things I've heard immediately is you can't wait to either, of course, get this sequel, if there is one or whatever.
I want it tomorrow.
But they're like, what other superhero game can we make this just like Spider-Man? And I want to caution people because I was trying to think of any other superhero that they could make. Spider-Man's the perfect superhero for this kind of game.
Yeah.
The way he fights, the way he moves, the city, everything. They found a way to really harness that and make it really, really, really good.
Apparently this was, the way this game came about was Marvel went to Sony asking them to just make a game with one of their titles, and Sony went to Insomniac and said, would you be interested in doing a Marvel game? And they said, pick one and we'll go from there. And they talked it over and they came back to Spider-Man. Like, wasn't, hey, you're going to make a Spider-Man game with this. Yeah. It was basically, what do you want to do? And to their credit, to both really, I'd say Marvel and why they get this right. And I think it's the other reason why Arkham got it right too when it came out, was that
you're immediately Spider-Man.
Well, they pretty much sat back and said, look, do your take. We're not here to tell you what you have to do or what you can't do. This is not going to be tied to our movies or anything else. Like, we trust you to go out there and figure out a script as far as, what you want to do, your take on of what Spider-Man is. And it's clear to me, as someone who's now finished the story, that it is an awesome story from start to finish as far as what it sets out.
So far, so good for me.
And I often say this, like with comic books, for those who are really big fans and these things, it's kind of like for instance, like if you know Thanos, right? And you've read those comics. When you watched Infinity War this summer, you knew what was going to happen. Like, you just know what's going to happen because you're like, it has to. There's no way they wouldn't do this. It's definitive to what the character is, right? And why you would bring that element into it without spoiling. The same goes for here, but the thing that's always interesting is how people are able to take the things that you know and put feeling, and solid scripts and solid acting behind it. Like, I know The Flash and I know everything. Like, you can show me someone, when Caitlin Snow showed up in the very first episode of Flash, I was like, well, there's Killer Frost. I mean, I know
spoilers.
I know.
Her name was Caitlin Snow.
Yeah. I was like, I know if she sticks around on this show, she's going to turn into Killer Frost at some point, right? But the perspective is like, well, how does she become it? You know, how are you going to tell this time? What are her feelings and her motivations? Is she the same way I've always seen her? Or is she something different? And that's what was interesting here. It's like, I think everyone.
It's a different take, but you understand the building blocks of Spider-Man.
Anyone who's
you know
playing
the
this
lore
game,
of Spider-Man.
And you, as you progress, you can logically think it out where it's likely going to go.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take away when you get to those moments, especially the end of the game. I mean, I will say, without saying anything, is one of the best endings to a video game I've ever played. With one of the best final.
John and I are looking at each other. We don't know that we expected you to say that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh man. Like
he said, oh man.
Oh man.
Man.
Everything from the final, you know, like we often talk about how like the end of the games, the final fights and all that, they don't often. It's kind of like they're like, we're out of our good ideas.
Well, I think
we gave them to you all. We just need to wrap this thing up. It doesn't feel like that.
I think when it comes to superhero movies and entertainment, video games, whatever you want to call them, I think entertainers or creators of these genres have started to figure out that superheroes for us are now like Greek mythology to the Greeks. We get it. We know these characters. You don't have to start every movie or video game with an origin story.
Yeah.
These games, and Batman Arkham Asylum was just the same way.
Here's Batman on a night at Arkham.
Yeah. That's captured the Joker.
Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Spoilers. But it gives you Peter Parker in his prime. He's been Spider-Man for a number of years.
Yeah.
He's good at it already.
Yeah.
And I like the game. You mentioned the way they did Joker and Batman, right? Within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you're already fighting a boss in this game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've already gone through a lot to get to that boss. At least you think you have.
You haven't.
Right. Because you don't. And then the story just kind of, from, like you said, Chris has finished it. And where I'm at, the story is very entertaining to the point where, I want you to tell me if this holds true. I read on the internet that if you just did the main story, about 20-ish hours.
I would imagine,
15,
like
maybe?
I said,
15 to 20 hours.
I've heard people doing as quickly as 8 or 9. Like they just went through
from dot to dot to dot.
Yeah, that's all they did. I would say, I think most people would do it within 15 if all they're doing is kind of like a couple of side missions, but mainly just focusing on the main story. I think that'll be where it is. Like I was to a point where outside going completionist level, right? I was in the start of the third act, probably about 24, 25 hours in, and then I spent the next 5 hours of a combination of finishing up everything as far as collectibles and upgrades that I need to get, and then doing the final act. So the final act probably took me about 3 hours.
Did the game immediately I'm trying to I know we were I think the three of us were collectively immediately impressed with the mechanics of the swinging and things like that, but did the game in the beginning make you at all concerned?
Not really.
For me, from the beginning, I saw on the map, once I finished the opening sequence, I saw backpacks, landmarks, and towers.
Yeah.
Electronic towers. And I'm like,
Ubisoft game. Yeah.
No, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it reminded me immediately of an Assassin's Creed type vibe to where I'm thinking, okay, I got to go to these things and open up this map.
Well, that's not exactly where I'm going.
Okay.
Sure. You get a little bit further in and you see 2 side missions open up. I'm like, I don't know. Am I dealing with a game that's going to really suffer from a lot of lack of content in an open world? I was worried that this game was going to really be empty because I'm like, I'm hunting backpacks.
Yeah.
I'm taking pictures of landmarks. So it's taken a little while for every time you complete this the main story, new markers on the map open up. So the game is, thank God, is consistently opening up, giving you tons of things to do. Where now I'm like, whoa. Yeah. What do I do? What do I do
felt
next?
like it's funny that you felt that way because when I started in the map, kind of opens up and you see these things. I saw that as like already a whoa, that there's so much to do in addition to the main story.
But they're like little fetch things.
I guess like
it doesn't take
they're fetch, but I think when you play a game like this and you're swinging, I don't know how to.
Yeah, you're right.
It's so fun to just swing.
The point for me was, even though those were fetch items, and I have to say, like, that's the one thing, like, here, this game doesn't necessarily innovate its open world, like, to do anything new, really exciting. It's like, it gives a purpose. I'll give them that. Like, you know, there's a reason to go get those backpacks and those landmarks and all that. But, like,
I was just worried you weren't going to have a lot to do.
It was, but I was wrong. Yeah, like as you were swinging around, you would go to try to get this backpack, and all of a sudden, hey, there's a crime happening.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, you just instinctively feel like a Spider-Man. You're like, well, I have to go help them. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't just let the thugs.
And it's so fluid and fast.
Yeah,
also, like you're Spider-Man.
A thing that helps the little fetch missions are the personality that they've injected into Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
Yeah, you get a backstory to everything
the comments,
you discover.
Everything he's saying.
That was the best part. Like, you say, like, this is a world where Spider-Man has been Spider-Man for 8 years. But doing those backpacks, it was the first thing as soon as I did the first one, I was like, okay, I'm about to do all these because I wanted to know as much as I could about this world. And you get so many things. And, like, there are certain points, like, where when you're getting those backpacks, there's one particular thing that you pick up and he remarks about a story. And then here it is, like, being brought up 3 to 4 hours later in the actual story itself, where I was like, oh, wow. Okay. This isn't just like a throwaway that like some dude wrote for, well, this collectible's got to have a reason.
Don't get me wrong.
No, it ties together.
Yeah. I was immediately within hours, my concerns were alleviated.
Yeah.
It's just that I was worried that Insomniac was going to rely on this amazing new web slinging mechanic.
Some would say spectacular.
Yes, this amazing.
To swing to get a backpack,
even Ultimate.
I was afraid that Insomniac was going to rely on this amazing thing you were doing that you got to do, spend so much time swinging around that it would distract you from the fact that there was an empty world there.
And it's
not an empty world.
You know why I never had that concern was whenever I hovered over the map the first time and I was looking where all the things were, I went off one of the items and I looked at the 100% completion for the district and I saw like all these question marks. I'm like, well, there's a lot of stuff to be unlocked.
So, and like you mentioned, when you start out, that map does open up and you see these 3 things. Mm-hmm. We mentioned the backpacks and what they are. Spider-Man has basically hidden these in certain spots. They have things in them. Very cool if you want to go do it. Non-essential to the story.
Sure.
But I feel like they add to the story.
Yes.
The monuments that you mentioned, the places to go see, I personally have enjoyed them because
I have too.
They're taking you to places like Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah, they're giving you a
the
tour
Avengers Tower.
Spoilers.
That's not a spoiler.
The biggest tower in the city.
Jessica Jones's office.
Whoa.
I'm just saying. She's not in the game, but that's a place you take a picture of or whatever.
I've got one marker. I've got one marker left, but I can't get there yet. I think the story has to take me there.
Oh.
There's one off the main island. Like
no. You just have to get high enough to take a picture. That's it.
Oh.
Because it's what you think it is.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh. It's like
you
one of the most big landmarks in America. Very tall woman.
Liberty and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go get that trophy tonight.
But so I think those 3 open up because they let you know go explore, have fun, because other things are going to go on in the midst of you doing that, not to get away from this story that could be lackluster or what have you. But but then, like you say, then you pull a Chris and realize all of these places you've unlocked now have a sheet full of things to do.
Yeah.
A sheet load.
Sheet load.
Every time you think like, oh, I've obviously run out of things to do, it's like, no. Here's more. And
absolutely.
And that's good because you don't ever feel overwhelmed. By the time these things are popping up later in the game, you're like, okay, I kind of have an idea of what this is going to be. But that's fine. And like probably the last thing that's new that they give up to you, is something that requires the most skill of you. So it's like, it makes sense that came so much later. It's like, learn how to play this game. Now come back and do these things.
Yeah.
For those who are trying to platinum the game, I will give this pro tip, and I'm glad I caught it because it could have screwed me over. There, as we're talking about like all these collectibles, there's a reason for going to do these tasks and things, and that's because you get tokens for doing them. Like if you fight crimes, you get crime tokens. If you go to the landmarks, you get landmark tokens. You get backpack tokens for finding them. But one of the things you get later in the game, or two things, are base tokens and more importantly, challenge tokens. And I just want to say,
challenge tokens I've heard are hard.
Yeah, if you wish to get the platinum, you will need a certain number of challenge tokens for the suits that you have to get. You don't have to get the gadgets, but you do have to get all the suits in order to get that platinum.
Dude,
so
there's some sweet
unless
suits.
you want to be perfect, I suggest you save up those challenge tokens till you bought all the suits that you need to get.
There's the suits. I think it's really cool that there's a lot of suits to unlock. So far, for the majority of the game, I've stuck with the suit you get early on.
I agree.
That's on the cover.
I got a hold, and I played around last night a little while with the Spider-Man Homecoming suit.
Yeah.
But the suit I got on a side mission when I completed a bunch of side missions, I'm so in love with. I'm wearing it right now.
There's one. There is one that you get very late. Like you get it not from the story, but more from leveling, right?
Yeah.
And you get it pretty late in the game. And once I got it, I was like, one, that is the coolest thing that Insomniac could have done for this game. I was like, and you'll know it.
I'm hoping it's the symbiote costume.
I won't spoil anything.
Yeah, we're gonna let you.
But
because later in the comics, he didn't. When he gave up the symbiote, and Eddie Brock and Eddie Brock united with the symbiote.
Nerd alert!
Yeah,
nerd alert!
Name dropping all that stuff. He crafted his own version of it in fabric form. I always love that suit.
But
it's so cool.
It's let's just say is distinctively. I mean, there's only one other one you could confuse it with when I say this, but it's you get this one later in this one is like no other suit in the game. Like when you put it on, you will know that this is distinctively different than anything else you could have put on, even though
I gotta go.
Yeah,
we got
the heck with the news. I don't care.
I would show you, but I don't want to spoil it because when I saw that for the first time, I was like, "Oh man, that's just hype. That is so cool."
You've not name drop, but you've mentioned leveling and gadgets.
Yeah, we need to.
We need to definitely talk about the leveling up and all the things you can do, because I find that's actually pretty awesome too. I got to be honest with you. The tree of your three different abilities or whatever.
What are the three different skill
innovator,
trees?
defensive, and web slinging?
Yeah, those are very minimal trees as far as things you got to unlock on them, but they really help you enhance your fighting.
Oh yeah.
There's gadgets you can buy. There's your different suits you can equip things on.
You got gadgets. You got mods. You have different
mods.
One of the things I do love with the suit, so every suit comes with its unique kind of special ability to it.
Yeah.
And older games I think would have required you to wear the suit that the ability comes with to get it, right? And that kind of sucks because there are some that aesthetically you just don't.
You just like.
You just,
don't
versus,
like.
like for instance, like anything, I'm not a huge fan of the look of Spider-Man 2099. I've never been a huge fan of that.
Dang it, dude. How late is that? I don't think I've unlocked that
Way to
suit.
go, Darth Maul.
I'm not saying it's in there. I'm not saying it's in there or not, but what I'm saying is like that kind of thing.
In there. Son of a...
That kind of thing.
I have the first issue of Spider-Man 2099.
Okay. Well, that kind of suit I don't
Fun
like.
fact.
Or like, for instance, if you played, what was it? Spider-Man Edge of Time and all that and Edge of, or
Are you
Web
just
of
going to
Shadow.
spoil the whole suit?
Jesus.
In those 4 games in that game, there is 4 versions of Spider-Man.
Give us
right?
the whole wardrobe, Chris.
And one of them is, what was it called? What's his name? Freaking Spider-Man Noir. Like it's a Spider-Man that takes place in the 1930s, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the way that looks.
Sure.
That
unlocks early. John, you should have that one.
But anyways.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is like, what I like about what they did here was that they, instead of making those abilities tied to each suit, it's more of like, look, you get to, kind of like how, an MMO is, where you can choose the skin you want and then put the abilities you want
Yeah,
onto it.
like an a la carte.
It's really
kinda
great.
thing.
It's
And
really great.
That's really good.
I
That's
was very impressed. I didn't expect them to take.
Jesus, we're
What?
almost at an hour.
I didn't expect them to take. I didn't expect them to take the upgrades that far.
Yeah.
They're
glad
really
they did, though.
they're really treating this like a Batman gadgety game, which I really appreciate.
And they work so well.
Because when I was reading the comics back in the 90s, he didn't have the tech. He really didn't have the tech that he does today.
Yeah, outside of I think it was more of like when you got to Ultimate Spider-Man, because there he's more of the scientist and all that kind of thing, which is my favorite Spider-Man.
Speaking of the scientists too, there are some really cool little things you can do in the laboratory.
You can, yeah, you can do some. You can do some basic chemistry and circuit work. And if I have
That's
to say,
fun, though.
If I have to say, like the criticism of this game is like there's a lot of mini games in this that I'm like I've seen this done elsewhere, and it's fine, you know. But it's like for the most part they're all pretty simple to me. Like for instance, like the towers with the sound waves. That's very much similar to Batman's hacking of audio signals from the Arkham series.
Talking about the cell signals?
Yeah, like where
We're
you
just
would
having an
try
L and R
to,
and spin them till they match.
exactly
Oh,
the
that
same.
thing. Yeah.
The circuit thing is pretty much like what the circuit thing I've seen things like Deus Ex and,
It reminded me
I believe
of
Bioshock
Deus
has
Ex,
stuff,
for
has
sure.
stuff like that.
What about Night Sex?
What?
Deus
What
Ex?
was that?
I love Night Sex, dude. It's the greatest.
You
What?
said Deus Ex.
Oh,
Deus Ex.
okay. Because Deus and Night. I see what you did, John.
I work with
Took a
children.
while.
I work with children. But yeah, those things, you know, they're fine and they work for especially what they're going for is like cure things that logically Peter would do when he is this smart and has the job that he's in. But on the other hand, I was like, okay, it's a thing.
I've never understood this about Peter Parker.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
It's like nobody else's phone rings.
I've never understood this about Peter Parker. You are so smart.
Sure.
You are so poor.
Yeah. Because he's got a heart of gold.
Yeah, man.
I get it.
I've always understood it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Maybe you should open up your heart, John.
Listen to your heart when he's calling for you.
But yeah,
Listen
in
to
the
your
end,
heart.
no, shut it down. Shut it down.
He lets me get a few lines in.
Shut it down.
I
But
appreciate
he
that.
literally played a song from his
We
device.
own that. We are good friends of Chad Kroger. And he said you can use that. I can't prove that at all. But I can't disprove it either.
So what did we not cover?
I think we did a good job.
Like I said, coming back to it though,
See? We got this.
He's
coming
bringing
back
us
to
back
it,
to reality.
yeah, trying to bring it back for a closing here. I think this is a game that I really want to see. I said earlier this year when we played God of War, I said afterwards that there were 2 games left this year. I thought
Spider-Man or
had
Red Dead, Chris. Jesus Christ.
okay, cool. Be a dick. Just be a Richard. Just be a total
You've already
Richard.
said it. You're going to have to edit that.
And no.
Yeah.
Cause Dick, I was talking about Dick Cheney.
There it is.
He's my
That's
favorite
3
vice
edits.
president.
It's going to be an explicit podcast this week because of Chris, not because
Anyway.
of John or me. Just saying.
But no, yeah, I said back in April or wherever it was that there were 2 games I could see having a theoretical chance of dethroning. Are you going to just be a dick the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want? Are we getting? What are you doing?
I'll just unplug.
If you unplug me,
I will go to
I will
D level.
never be on this podcast again.
Oh man, that makes me want to do it so bad.
If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't roll like when you and John argue. I'm obviously playing, and if you want to be a dick back, then we can be
I
like
will
triple
do this.
dicks.
I will do this.
I'm not playing.
I will do it.
So much dick.
I know. Anyway,
You just wanted to say dick. Don't
Anyway.
get nervous when I argue with Chris.
I'm fine. I said a joke. It was funny.
I mean,
but again, yes, there were 2 games.
God.
Yeah.
April.
And I said one of them was Spider-Man. The other one will come out on October 26th. Everyone's running from it. I won't say that it beat God of War.
We're going to say it beat God of War. Watch.
Okay. I don't have a problem with
It's
anyone
going to beat
saying
Red
that.
Dead 2.
Okay. If you want to say that, that's fine.
Call of Duty's going to beat Red Dead for me.
It's called an opinion.
Darksiders 3 is going to be Red Dead 2.
But anyways, I have to say it's easily the best superhero game I've played, and I think it is probably one of my top 5 games of the year, and I don't see it falling off.
It's a 10 for me. It's my best game of the year.
Well,
see how easy
you're
that was?
5 hours in.
Yeah, of
so
course I
you
would,
would.
Chris.
Yeah.
Suck my Richard. Go ahead, John.
What's it like playing the first 3 hours? I forgot what
why
that
don't you
feels
come?
like.
You've been comparing my trophies
He's
on the
actually,
side.
we were talking story wise. He's actually ahead of me.
Exactly. But Chris,
Well, yeah,
Chris
you
knows
got a
everything.
kid. You got a kid that's
Yeah, I do too. I got a life.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And
I have a
Go
kid.
ahead, John.
No life. I think I'm going to settle on a. When all is said and done, I'm going to settle on a 9.5 or a 10.
Okay.
I'm on a 9.5. That's where I am.
I think this game. Look, you could probably make a technical case for why God of War is a better
Right.
game.
And we get that. We talked about that, right?
This so far,
It's more of an innovative game.
I'm racking my brain, but this so far is sitting not in the top 5. It's sitting in the number 1 spot.
Ooh,
Yeah.
over God of War.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is, and it's
I
not.
respect
It's
that.
not. It's not because I think I think
We haven't forgotten what God of War
Yeah.
was.
This is
Yeah.
the reason. This is like I said this to Sean. This game is the reason I play video games.
I'm so
Yes,
glad you brought that
I agree.
up.
That's just the best way of phrasing it. It is a hands down recommendation to anybody who is curious about this game.
If you own a PlayStation, we
It
don't
is a
do this option. We don't do this a
no-brainer.
lot. Buy this game.
To its credit, this is the only art game. Like God of War gave me this earlier this year, and this game also gave it to me, which was as soon as I was done, I was waiting. I'm like, I'm ready to see what's next. I want to see the next chapter.
Speaking of what's
this. I
next,
wanna
there is
see
some
what they're gonna
DLC
do.
coming. Are you going to pick that up?
That is a really hard thing for me right now because I'm like,
There's so much coming out, right?
yeah, and I have to move on. But at the same time, I think when this game goes on sale, I will get it digitally, and at that
yeah,
point,
for
I will,
sure. This is a
that'll
game I'm
probably be when I
definitely
pick it
going to
up.
purchase
Yeah.
whether I trade it in or not.
Yeah,
I'm trying to be a little bit more budget conscious. I'm hoping to
Agreed.
trade Spider-Man in for Assassin's Creed, which
That's going to be happening pretty soon for you. I'm excited.
yeah, it's coming up.
October 5th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Red Dead got out of its way.
I bet one sells more than the other. I'm just gonna. I still say this. I'm walking around that game just kicking people. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do combat wise.
Oh yeah,
I'm
and you're
just
going
gonna
to say,
find-
what are you going to say?
This is Sparta. Now I will kick them and then I move on. And like it could be just a civilian on top of a hill. It's like, well, you gotta be kicked. It's gotta happen. But yeah, it's out there now.
Real quick, what did you, I mean? Do you? A lot of people have made a complaint about the side missions being a tad shallow. I don't really agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they're not the most in depth ever. But
Yeah,
I
obviously
think
not.
they give you the idea of again, like here is Spider-Man and he's a guy of the people. Like
he's helping the little old lady.
yeah, it's the one thing that makes him unique compared to every other hero. Like, I guess Superman you could argue is the same way, but that's because he's a god and he can do things in like less than a second if you need to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man has always felt like he is first and foremost the hero that is swinging around Queens, helping out whoever needs it, and that's it. Whether it's helping an old lady cross the street or getting a cat out of a tree or
Giving somebody directions.
exactly, like he's that guy. And you know, the charm of it is his humor and his personality in it. But you know that if someone's ever in trouble, he just quickly will jump in and go straight into hero mode if need be.
Something's happened for me, and I don't know if it started with Infinity War or what, but I'm becoming like a Spider-Man guy. Like to where he's becoming my favorite superhero.
When I was a kid, I
up there.
still have all my comics from when I was reading as a kid. I had more Batman and more Spider-Man comics than any comics I had, and probably more Spider-Man than Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I never understood why I liked him so much, but it's what everybody's discovered. He has your problems,
Yeah.
and
He has family you love like your own.
He has family he cares about. He has job problems.
Girl
he has money
problems.
problems. Girl problems. He's got all these problems. He's so relatable, and he's a superhero. He's a guy who can lift 60 tons.
So you're trying to say that you're now an alcoholic and you're not very patriotic, so that's why you didn't read Iron Man or Captain America more?
I just didn't care about. I was always really invested in what Spider-Man was doing
Yeah.
month to month. He
I
just
agree.
was the most interesting stories, and Batman was just Batman.
Yeah.
Batman just had money so he could afford this stuff. Mm-hmm. That's why I've never... Batman's cool.
He lost his parents. Way.
Oh my God, Casey is so mad at you right now.
I think people, though, I think often that's what makes people gravitate to the heroes that they do. Like, I always gravitated towards Superman because...
You're super?
No. Well, no, not because of that, but a lot of, like, when I moved down here, right, being from the north, I felt like...
when you move from Krypton to Columbus...
It feels like in that analogy, though, like where you're trying to fit in a new area, right? Yeah. Like you're trying to, like, how can I relate to everyone here and be when everyone's like, I like college football. And I'm like, what's college football? I watch real football on Sundays.
I like hockey. You're like, what?
I watch basketball.
Did you like hockey? I just said that.
I used to watch a lot more hockey, yes. But Capitals are the greatest team ever.
They're the defending champs.
Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, just saying.
But you know, I think that's what gets people. Now, I am interested in this. So, where you were talking about, like, them making a game earlier, like, and they chose the right one. I'll say this. I'm willing to bet that if you make an Iron Man game, a Superman game, Green Lantern, you know, take your pick, right? Thor. I'm willing to bet those games will have a lot more problems with the open world because they don't have the traversal abilities that Spider-Man does.
I was thinking about which ones might be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think an Ant-Man game could work.
Oh, that'd be weird.
That would be cool. I agree with you.
God, that'd be so graphic intensive.
Yeah, going from big to small or whatever.
Riding ants.
I think a Jessica Jones-ish game could work.
That would be.
I was thinking of games in the New York City vibe could almost work if you kind of did the same city.
I wish DC would do one for Green Arrow. Green Arrow, I think, would work very well because, again, he can swing. He has, you know, he can do that. Versus, like, as much as I love Superman, like, and I'm sure they're going to do a Superman game. That's probably what they're working on, I would imagine. That's a hard thing to do. I mean, like, what do you do for the guy who's like pretty much
I take your power.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said a minute ago, for me, it's a better gaming experience being Spider-Man swinging than it is Superman flying.
Yeah, because that's going to get old after 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm flying. Okay, cool.
Oh wow, look, I'm floating.
John, did you bring up your classic? I don't know if you did. I know we need to move on. How do you feel about the fast travel that I just learned about today?
Make sure you do it 5 times.
The fast travel. I've used.
Oh, I didn't know it existed till lunch today.
I was looking at the trophies and I saw it and I was like, there's one, you know, it describes it in there. It's like, do this 5 times. And I was like, what? How? And I kept trying to land on it because I read what it was, you know, it said what it was. And I was like, oh, and then finally it unlocked. I was like,
I will allow you to let me spoil or let you spoil one thing. Mm-hmm. Are reading the newspapers a trophy?
No, they're not, but they are worth. Joanna Jameson, by the way, in this game.
J. Jonah.
Yeah, J. Jonah.
Joanna Jameson.
I can't remember what it is.
It's like a porn star's mother, Joanna Jameson.
That's fine. That's fine. J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, whatever. Triple J.
Yeah. Good.
I love the way they did him in this game because for those, I mean, this really isn't a spoiler. Basically, they wanted to make sure he was incorporated without Peter Parker having to go to the Daily Bugle every like 20 minutes and go, Parker, you know, or something like that. So the way they incorporate,
that was a good one.
Yeah. The way they bring him into this world, one makes sense for today's world. Like I could totally see, JJ being this, like without spoiling too much. He's kind of like a talking head, right?
Sure.
And it's perfect just because no matter what you're doing in this game, he is consistently coming back and commentating like every little stupid thing you do.
Do you not go straight to the menu so you cut them off?
I guess
you can turn them off.
I don't turn them off. I just I click the menu so I can see the map and come back and he's done talking.
You can replay them all. They're in the archive.
But the fast travel.
You have to bring up the fast travel, John.
The thing is, the fast travel is just fine. There's plenty of spots anywhere in the map you want to go.
But.
And if something like is across Manhattan, I'll use it. And I'm glad I did because the fast travel sequence is so nice. It's so funny. It's so charming and endearing and perfectly Spider-Man.
And again,
you find yourself sitting on the subway. He uses the subway
in his Spider-Man suit.
Yeah, and my coworker is from New York City. He grew up as a kid in New York City. He goes, the easiest way to travel in New York City is a subway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just funny, the little cutscenes that show you traversing. You're sitting on a subway with another guy dressed as Spider-Man. You guys are just having a great time talking about your suits because everybody thinks you're just a guy dressed up as Spider-Man.
Yeah, how would you know?
So, but for the most part, you just want to traverse and get there swinging.
So you hear what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
He complains about every other game's fast travel system.
I complain about fast travel.
This one has an excellent system, but he'd rather not use it.
Exactly. You should make sure you keep coming back.
If you have no superpowers, the subway's the way to go. There was one moment though where I'm on this mission and this guy runs down into the subway. I'm trying to go after him and it kicks you away from the subway. It's like, that's where it kind of breaks for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
I know.
Why can't I go in the subway?
Because they want you to swing.
They want me to do it one way, but it's weird that you can't. That's where the world starts to show its stitching a little bit.
That's where like the nitpick of me where I'm like, was it 9.5 and 9 out of 10? And it's like these are the little small reasons why where I'm like, I'm willing to bet right now whenever they make the sequel for this, and I guarantee you they're making a sequel for it. Just because it's going to sell really well, and I don't imagine Marvel going, let's just do one game and move on. And I hope it's Insomniac that keeps doing it, because they seem to have the right handle on everything. I'm willing to bet the next one is the one that is kind of like the equivalent of God of War, where it's like, we're going to take what you think this could be and what we showed you the first time, and now we're going to show you just how much more it could be. Like, we've taken all those things that were issues, and now we've figured it out. And we've ironed them, and we've innovated in a way where we don't have to worry about certain things that we did in the first game. But yeah, Spider-Man. It's out now.
That's all we got.
Yeah. You ready to do some news?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
You know what's funny is my neighbor here, right?
Yeah.
He usually works like in the afternoon, evenings. Like he usually gets home like 11 o'clock at night, and he's here today. And I'm like, he's hearing things he's never heard. He's like, what is going on over his place?
It's a
why on Tuesdays at about like 6:30 or 7 we just hear news. Like, what's that about, man?
Are they doing Coke in here?
As in Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen. We are supported by... Oh, no, we're not.
That would be amazing.
If we were. God.
I love Coke products.
Hey, speaking of Spider-Man, new game plus for Spider-Man. We all know that DLC is coming for Spider-Man. It's been announced there will also be a new game plus mode. Insomniac has confirmed they are, quote, working on it now and polishing it up. New game plus allows users usually to carry over previous saves into a new game, but we should be excited for what is to come. John knows he is, because he said I know I am, so I just put John in there.
Yeah, I want it now.
You should beat it first. And you know what?
You should beat it first.
I can already see, like, I'm not sure if they're going, so the max in the game is 50, right?
Yeah.
And I got that well before I beat it. Like,
Ooh.
you know, no, like I'm saying, if you want it, it's not a hard thing to obtain,
I think
right?
I'm level 24.
But, you start doing kind of like how, right now, when you go over 50, whenever you get enough XP that it would level you up, it just levels up your stats instead and still says level 50. So I'm interested to see if they're going to raise the level cap with this, or if they're just going to kind of be like, look, it's new game plus, and yeah, it's going to require a lot of experience for you to upgrade, but you know, you will have a reason to keep fighting and doing everything again.
I think they raised the level cap for Assassin's Creed Origins when they did their DLC.
Because their level cap, I believe, was 50 also, wasn't it?
40 or 50.
Yeah, it was somewhere in there.
It seemed like much more of a grind to get to 40.
Yeah, that was definitely a harder thing to obtain. I remember when I finally hit 40, I was like, thank you, Lord. But that's also like an open world game where I think you could easily put 70 hours in if you wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct coming this week. Last week, Nintendo delayed its Direct out of respect for the country following the earthquake in Hokkaido.
Hokkaido, Japan.
I came close. Numerous trusted sources have informed Nintendo Life that the presentation is back on for this Thursday. Yeah. These sources have previously been correct on the previous two announcements. A lot of rumors about this one, including an Animal Crossing and Splatoon crossover. Yeah, they've said there's a good chance like this one's not going to focus just on one game, but it's going to be
filling in the gaps.
Yeah, a lot of upcoming things, which they need to do. Hopefully the big thing that they do is finally give the final details on Nintendo Online and everything.
For sure.
Yeah.
Maybe get a Bayonetta 3 release date.
Yeah. Yoshi Switch title leaked. Nintendo has accidentally leaked the possible title for the next Yoshi game that is coming to the Switch. If rumors are true, the game will be called Yoshi's Crafted World. A user was examining Nintendo's website and discovered the title while looking at the Super Smash Bros. Page. The title, if true, automatically grants it Game of the Year. I don't believe that.
For sure.
No.
Oh, yes.
No, Spider-Man. Right now, Spider-Man's Game of the Year. But
is that your Game of the Year?
No, but it really is God of War. But for the next
almost had him
until October 26th.
John, what would you do if what's that one series you like with that one girl? And it's Primage and Metroid-ish.
Oh, so Primage.
Schmammus.
What if something was announced for it?
I can't see it.
But what if?
I don't think, yeah.
I'm just saying, what if?
I would not.
Guys, a what if is not a true thing.
But that's not going to happen.
But what if, John? What would you do, John?
It would.
Greatest Nintendo Direct ever!
I think it would hit the table is what I think. It would hit it hard.
We're going all in on the Nintendo news this week, huh?
I've been noticing.
I noticed it. I was like, I don't know what to say.
There's not a lot else going on because everything else was Spider-Man.
They're too concerned about releasing games. They don't have anything left to announce.
I don't know what that means.
Hate. Pokemon Switch Special Edition. Nintendo has announced that it will release a limited edition Switch hardware alongside the release of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. The bundles will be released on November 16th, just in time for Black Friday. Buyers can choose to have one of either title download onto the hardware. The console will have both Eevee and Pikachu etched out on its brown and yellow Joy-Cons. The docking station will also come with images with both Pokemon on it. Each bundle will also come with a Pokeball Plus controller, and the bundle will be priced at $3.99.
I don't know what a a Pokeball Plus controller is.
Oh, you haven't seen that? So with this game,
I write it. I don't research it.
It's kind of like taking what like you do.
You're talking about it's just a Pokeball?
Yeah, it's the ball like that. You can go out to the world and like
you
capture
catch Pokemon.
Yeah, then you take them back to your console and
say what it is. And it's on your controller, bro.
Yeah. Got it?
Was I completely zoned out when you talked about Yoshi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely talked about.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad, guys. I'm back.
That's what happens when you put a lot of Nintendo news in.
I was like, what? Just show your face.
The bundle doesn't look that good to me.
It's because you're not
it's
a big...
It's for them.
But I'm sure BK will trade his Switch in and buy this one.
I was going to ask how our friend up north felt about it. BK, because the Pokey, but yeah.
I like how I say
the Pokey.
Yeah, the Pokey.
I like how we say up north. He's
BK,
like 75 minutes north.
Yeah. BK is all up in the paint.
Whoa. I think when it comes to that, I think that's a misuse.
What is the Pikachu, the Pokemon, it's the free download Pokemon game. What is that called?
Pokemon Go?
No, it's on the Switch.
Oh, Pokemon Red and Blue, the one that's like it's a send up to that or whatever it is, or is it Diamond?
No,
I know what you're talking about.
It's
like they give it away for free.
You don't sound like you
Pikachu in the game. All the Pokemon are like squares.
Yeah, it's like an older one. I just can't remember.
Pokemon
Forever,
whatever.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
But he's like he's all
Poke
about
Stadium,
all up in the paint, huh?
I say it so wrong all the time that I don't even remember what the right one is. Hard in the paint. That's right.
There you go. Nintendo Cloud Save Support. It has previously been reported that not all games on the Nintendo Switch will support your cloud saves, such as Pokemon and Splatoon 2. Here is Nintendo's official statement on cloud saves, though. The vast majority of Nintendo Switch games will support save data cloud backup. However, in certain games, this feature would make it possible to, for example, regain items that have been traded to other players or revert to a higher online multiplayer ranking that had been lost. To ensure fair play, save data cloud backup may not be enabled for such games. To ensure that save data cloud backups cannot be used to unfairly affect online multiplayer rankings, the feature will not be enabled in Splatoon 2. Compatibility will be noted in the game's Nintendo eShop listing and on its game information page at nintendo.com.
So they're worried about people doing things to basically cheat the system, so they're not going to let those games utilize the cloud save data. Right? That's what it's basically saying, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't get it at all.
They said something in like Splatoon can be traded, and then all of a sudden your multiplayer ranking goes up.
I mean,
or what am I missing?
To me, like, this all makes it's just so easy because, no offense, you see your competitors, they both do. Microsoft literally has it right now with your Xbox. I can log into Sean's Xbox that he's traded in. And when I do so, it will automatically sync and download my cloud's saves for any game that I've been playing. And I just don't understand this because the easy solution to this is to make sure that if someone wants to do something that is linked to online, that they have to be connected to Nintendo servers to access that content. NBA 2K does that all the time, right? If NBA 2K servers go down, it doesn't matter where I sync my stuff for. I have to make the option to either wait till their servers come up or opt out of it and create an offline save, at which point I basically am given 15 warnings telling me, hey, if you do this, you will not be able to participate in online and you will not be able to do all these other things that you are choosing to forego. You know,
Whoa.
I just don't get this. Like,
I mean, they're basically saying, look, we can use this feature because there's going to be things that like you lost and other stuff or whatever. And that way you don't got to worry about it, much like you just said for the Xbox stuff. But why say, what am I missing with Splatoon 2 that,
I don't know,
that they can't use it there? Maybe I'm just dumb.
It's like if you're online,
maybe we're just dumb.
Yeah. To me, it just doesn't make sense. And maybe again, it's a sign to me that they're new to this. They're trying to figure it out, and I'm sure they'll eventually get there. But for now, they've got issues.
We'll see. Hey, we're going to talk more about Nintendo in the coming weeks because you know what's launching in September.
Mario Party?
Oh, isn't there online stuff starting this
Oh,
month?
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's like you run a podcast about games or something. Just saying.
I think you get to play Super Mario Bros. 3 for free if you subscribe, right? And then the things that they've listed, the games that they're doing.
John and his staff got 47 pieces of Nintendo news out.
Not anything with
No
this.
clue about Mario 3 in the online. None.
Everyone's working a Nintendo beat there.
Yeah.
But
it's cool, John.
THQ Nordic purchases new IP. Is it new IP? Kingdom.
To them.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
It's new to them.
The Kingdoms of Amalur, aka the franchise that bankrupt Kurt Schilling, has been purchased from 38 Studios by none other than resident franchise reviver THQ Nordic. Although no word yet on whether THQ Nordic plans to begin develop new games, you can bet that will be the plan going forward. Kingdoms of Amalur was released back in 2012 to relative critical success, although very few people purchased the game. Actually, you think like 3 million people bought it, right?
2 to 3 million.
Yeah, which is solid for a brand new IP. But Rhode Island. The game experienced a vast array of financial troubles that I won't bore you with here. Basically, they borrowed money from a state, and the state said that's not enough in terms of sales, so we're reneging the whole deal. THQ's MO is to take previous titles and have them remastered. At this time, they do not have permission from EA to proceed with that. That's right. EA did publish that game.
The problem with it was not the loan itself. It was the fact that they couldn't pay back the loan because they'd spent too much money aside from the loan.
Well,
that selling 2 to 3 million copies.
It wasn't a loan, right? It was a grant.
Because,
it was a
grant
from Rhode Island.
It was a grant. It was Kurt Schilling's entire fortune. All this money they spent, 2 to 3 million sales, which most people would be thrilled with, unfortunately could not pay for the game's development.
Yeah, I think it's like Rhode Island has a stipulation there, kind of like how
it's like Waterworld.
What is it? It's kind of like, what is it? Like the way a lot of tech companies are when they're getting investment money. And basically, like it's a thing where if they don't do certain things, Rhode Island has a right to pull its resources out and be first and foremost recouped any expenses that they personally put forward towards the project. So the moment they did that, it pretty much just killed everything because it took all the money that they had earned on developing for the game, basically.
There's a lot of people putting talent into this game. It was R.A. Salvatore was responsible for its lore. Todd McFarlane was responsible for its art style.
Yeah. And Seth's brother?
That's funny.
I'm sorry for bursting out laughing. I read 2 stories ahead, and you'll see when we get there. It wasn't funny about the THQ thing. Sorry.
I enjoyed the game for when I played it. I didn't beat it because it kind of just got a little bit repetitive, but it would be cool to see someone take that and make something out of it and maybe update it.
It was such a sad story.
Yeah, it was. The complete package, Anthem, is trading very lightly in lieu of EA's recent release debacles with Star Wars. Executive producer Mark Dura says he feels consumers will be getting, quote, a good, valuable game when Anthem launches. Quote, you won't be able to play for months and months, even if we weren't then layering a live service on top of it. So I think it's an excellent value right off the start. Or, I'm sorry, you would be able to play for months and months, by the way. 4 exosuits, a complete story. So both, I think it's a complete package, but it's also the starting line of an experience as well. I think we've already said what all story DLC will be free in the game. So
that's what he means by complete story, probably.
I'm getting more excited about this game. Am I crazy?
You should always be excited for a BioWare game, John. In my opinion.
I'm
only human.
Completely neutral about this game. Yeah. I don't know why.
You think it's a Destiny thing?
I don't know.
See, I like the fact that I could play with Sean in this game, but it feels like if he doesn't get in, like, unlike Destiny,
you're still good.
Yeah, like Destiny felt like a freaking grind when you didn't have someone with you.
Yeah.
This feels like it's still your world and all that, so I don't need to worry about Sean to get the story I want out of this game, which is exactly what I want for a BioWare game.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little grind.
All right, bump. Kingdom Hearts VR. Square Enix has revealed a free Kingdom Hearts VR experience for PlayStation VR. The game will be a collection of greatest hits from previous Kingdom Hearts games. Officially, Square Enix is calling it a visual experience and a 10-minute interactive video featuring music from the Kingdom Hearts franchise. New content can be unlocked when playing through it. It is probably being released due to the fact the game has been delayed from 2031. That's not true, John. That's a lie.
That was a joke. That's what made me laugh. But unbelievably, when you read it, I didn't laugh at all.
Good. That's what I aim to do here. I aim to butcher jokes.
Jesus.
Well, he killed the last 3 words. Yeah. He jumbled across it.
Delayed of 2032.
I tried to do terrible jobs here.
Word vomit, word vomit, word vomit, word vomit, word vomit, word vomit.
I saw today that, what you call it? Old Big Hero 6 is in the game.
Yes, that's true. I
saw that.
Spoilers.
That was announced back in 2015, though.
Was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
That's not a snide comment at you. It's a snide comment at the game back in 2015. It's not spoilers. Spoilers.
John, can you move your cup,
Yes,
please?
sir, I can.
Jesus.
Xbox now connects to smart home devices. Dear God, it's becoming Skynet. Microsoft is releasing an update that will allow the console to communicate with Cortana and Alex devices.
Who the f*** is Alex?
Oh,
Alexa?
Man.
I'm guessing it means Alexa, right?
Alexa, yeah.
Yeah. Devices adding remote voice controls for Xbox One. The skill will allow you to turn off your console, or will allow you to turn your consoles off and on, launch games and apps, start and stop mixer broadcast, control volume, control media playback, etc. No release date has been announced, though it's already available to some members of the Xbox Insiders program. I should probably check. There's a good chance I'll be on there. It's usually what happens. I'm like, oh, that's part? Well, you know. And finally this week. Does that sound like someone like wanted something from you at 6 a.m.? Like was trying to get some pleasing and you were like, Finally.
That would never happen.
I'm sure. Yeah, you're a male. Like me and John.
Not like me.
Yeah, that's true. John be like, oh, I don't know.
I gotta get up for work in 2 hours.
I got a busy day. Hayden needs to play Spider-Man. Oof. It's like every excuse. That was my point. Okay. Finally this week. Death Stranding at TGS. Death Stranding is said to be featured at the Tokyo Game Show in 2018 on September 23rd. That's like pretty close.
Why didn't you just read that the way it was?
I don't know. It's just
he tries to freestyle it.
He thinks he knows what's coming up, and his brain processes it way faster than just read the words.
I don't know.
I can't Ron Burgundy it. I
don't know if you listened to the drunk episode.
I did.
But there's one statement he was, I backed this up like 10 times. He said this statement and then stopped the statement and then 2 seconds later said the last word in the statement, which doesn't do this justice, but it was hilarious.
You're welcome.
It was hilarious.
Were you laughing at work or in your car or any other place?
Were you John laughing or laughing?
That you can, because you can listen to this fine podcast like almost anywhere.
Yes, you can.
Just saying.
The game will take center stage with Hideo Kojima and several voice actors. It's unknown whether we will see further demos of weird stuff or whether we will hear more about the story or what. Is this one of those games that will fall victim of we've seen too much? No.
See, I don't understand that.
Because
I don't feel like we've seen hardly anything.
It's like, yeah, that's the thing. Like Kojima, think about the most gameplay you've seen of this game is old Daryl from The Walking Dead walking up hills. That's it.
Delivering alien mail.
You haven't seen what combat is like. You haven't really gotten any hint of what the actual main point of the story is. This is what he does. And more likely, he'll just show something else and be like, look, here's one more sliver of this game.
Here's where we are now.
Yeah. Here's episode 6.
I hope it's good.
I don't think I'm going to like it, but I'm going to play it.
I hope it's good. Yeah.
Kojima's so
I think it's going to
weird.
be I think it's going to be
it'll be original.
So weird that I'm going to be like,
Yeah.
How are you going to be like?
Kojima is like Stanley Kubrick.
Yes, that is accurate.
He's the Stanley Kubrick of video games.
Stanley Kubrick. He is Stanley Kubrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean loves name drops. So when you email us, name drop through the entire email.
That would make me laugh so much.
That's right. It's like when Billy Crudup.
Billy Crudup. Moneyball. Love that movie.
Almost Famous. Surprised you didn't say that.
That's
he
also
goes with Moneyball.
Why did I go Moneyball?
When I first met Chris, he would not shut up about Almost Famous.
Oh, dude, Almost Famous is still probably my favorite movie.
Man,
best movie made about music, by far.
What?
No question.
Everybody knows.
This is Nowhere. Song featured in the movie. Neil Young.
Everybody knows that Hercules is
Hercules.
Like the Disney animated movie.
Some good music.
Yeah.
That's a John laugh. Are we ready to laugh? Are we ready to lap this
always
up?
ready. I'm always ready to lap it up, but
let's wrap this up.
Never.
If you want to write in your thoughts and opinions, you can write them into weeklygamechat@gmail.com. But you know what? None of you
None of you sons of bitches did. So.
We always get emails, and I feel like all of a sudden nobody's listening anymore.
I don't think that. Don't go into panic mode.
I'm panicking, man.
I think everybody's playing. Here's the
Guacamelee, right?
Yeah. I'm going to blame it on the fact, WoW. They all turned off after WoW.
I don't think that's it at all. I think
WoW was a big deal.
Of course the guy who played WoW thinks that.
I know it was.
No.
Football has started
That's
and
true.
Spider-Man came out.
Oh, yeah. Nobody
That's
got
true.
time to write.
That's what I think. But
Like, we are inconvenienced because we had to do this show.
because we still want to play Spider-Man
Yes.
and get ready for Tomb Raider
But
next
guys,
week.
if you just taken off Friday,
Tooken, huh?
and
Swang and Tooken.
if you just taken off Friday and Monday, you could have already beat it.
Shut your face.
Anything on the Twitter?
Whoa.
Sorry?
Once again,
I'm so sorry.
once again, if you
I
want
don't know
to,
why that came out that way.
once again, folks, if you want to write in your thoughts and once again, if you want to write in your thoughts and opinions, you can do so at weeklygameschat at gmail.com. Make sure you do so this week. Tell us if you've been playing Spider-Man. Tell us what you think. If you're starting Tomb Raider, which technically will be out by the time this comes out if you bought the 1 edition, otherwise you can play it Friday. Or even NBA 2K for those who like the sports like myself. If you're playing any of those games, let us know. Write in.
Or just write in.
Or just tell us
Whatever
how
you want to
dumb
talk
we are.
about. I don't care.
Give us the reasons why you're no longer writing in.
Yeah, what happened? Did John make you mad?
Yeah. Did
Probably
he
not,
touch you
'cause he's
somewhere?
adorable.
Probably did.
Yeah.
I say some
I seriously think
asinine things.
people are just busy this week, okay?
I hope so. Are you sure?
On Twitter, where you can find us at Weekly Games Chat on Twitter, at Big Riff wanted to know, he said at Weekly Games Chat, anyone playing D2 Forsaken on PS4? And I said, honestly, not sure. I'd be the one. Chris and John aren't really big Destiny fans. What about you, good sir? Which then he replied and said that he had jumped in for a couple hours, basically. It was feeling great. The sandbox has improved. Story great. Since I'm he told me that since I was putting off Tomb Raider, I should pick it up, which is funny because he knows I haven't opened Tomb Raider, or I may be putting it off. I don't know. Let's see. We had a really cool follow this week, and I want to make sure I give credits for that. At Henry 876700011. Thanks for the follow. Following you back. And, ladies and gentlemen, at Jonathan Kempby 2.
Who's that?
Gave us a nice little follow. Thank you for the follow.
What?
We don't need that as part of our community.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you not do that? That's so funny.
What? Show that
So
to
you're
me.
sure you didn't drink any of our beer this week?
I can't show that. All right. Hold up. Here we go.
I gave you a follow?
I don't know. That person did.
I just now followed you?
I don't know.
That's me.
It was you.
I'm glad you didn't notice when we took his phone at lunch last week.
I thought I'd always been following y'all.
Apparently not.
Following y'all, he says.
Yeah, I like how you're not putting yourself into this.
Following your twatter.
Our twatter.
Twatter.
Another reply to the Destiny thing, formerly T. Farron, said that basically it's so good. Tons of stuff to do, a whole new weapon system, a campaign with basically 9 bosses,
Wow.
and writing that actually has depth.
I gotta say,
No Dinklebot.
Not to mention Gambit is one of the coolest game modes I've ever played in any game.
He's my favorite X-Men.
And he put in #4Cade to the Destiny fans, of course, in the trailer. It was implied or shown, however you look at it, that the best person on the game.
Nathan Fillion's like, look, guys, I got a new show.
I got stuff to do.
I gotta say, Sean, I think it, and I'd love your opinion on this. I think it was a brilliant move making Destiny 2 free on PlayStation this month.
To hype up the release of the expansion.
Just people were like, you have the game free, now go buy the expansion. I thought that was brilliant.
Go through the story. Once you beat that, the expansion's there waiting for you. That's all you need. And all you need is one.
At Thick Loogie.
Good name.
Said to us, just want to say I appreciate you guys. Also, if my life was, quote, Fight Club, Sean would be my Tyler Durden.
That's terrible.
I love it. We also had some DMs this week, guys.
DMs?
Yeah, that means direct messages, Chris.
I thought it was DMX and you just forgot the X.
No. Acid Sugar 1414 asked, basically said, this was Let me make sure I do the timeline right. Oh, asked if we watched Justine. She's a personality on YouTube. She's really famous. She does some of the hosting on gaming things.
Yeah, you told me about her.
She's really good. She always gets inside stuff.
She's usually a Nintendo person, right?
Apple. No, she's got Microsoft, Xbox. She's got everything that's cool and new. She always does. She's really cool. I said that I do. She's cool. Not sure if John or Chris do. So.
And Chris almost directly replied back and said he does not.
So if you guys remember last week, let's see.
Did you see my post on there, brother?
At Nat the Gooner, if you guys remember, he's a big Arsenal fan and English Premier Football.
Oh yeah, I did see this.
I took a little jab at him about how Tottenham was a little higher in the rankings, and he thanked me, and admitted he was slightly shocked to find out that I'm a Tottenham fan. He reiterated that he's an Arsenal fan, so that should make us massive rivals. If you guys remember all that.
What's Tottenham?
It's a city in England, and they have a team after him too. So basically that guy, has a TV show recommendation, for my Tottenham supporting aunt or grandma. It was me, sir. The one that watches Midsummer Murders. I don't remember.
That was me.
That was John's grandma or aunt watches Midsummer Murders.
No, I do.
John does. So,
He's
sir,
an 80-year-old woman.
Sir, John's the 80-year-old woman. I'm the guy who just likes soccer. He said there's a British TV comedy series, and I'm gonna see if you guys know about this.
All right.
Called Detectorists.
Detectorists?
I have not watched Detectorists.
No,
It's about two friends that go metal detecting together. Hunting in fields.
That sounds very British.
They hunt in fields for old coins and Saxon treasure. It's the most charming, wonderful show, and it's won a ton of awards.
Is it a comedy show?
I don't know. He says it's just fantastic. It's on Netflix in the U.S. at the moment, and of course, my aunt or grandma / John would love it.
I just watch Those are the Great British Baking Show.
That's a good one.
Funny.
He said if we needed a break from Spider-Man, on the PS4, that we might love it as well.
No need for breaks.
He gives it 10 out of 10 Richards.
I want some biscuits this week.
So
that's the challenge.
I told Nat that I would let you guys know. So I've done my part. That's all I'm saying.
1, 2, 3, bake.
We showed Aiden over the weekend, Faulty Towers. Have you ever watched Faulty Towers?
John Cleese's finest.
That's really funny.
We had one other follow, and I've tried to follow back, sir, but you are pending me.
Oh.
At Ciadada17. I think I said that right.
Cicada.
Yeah, we're going to go with Chris's pronunciation.
Cicada.
At Cicada17. That's not how you say it. Thank you for the following you back. And since obviously Twitter is where you guys like to talk to us, continue to do so. Chris, tell them how.
You can find us on social media at Weekly Games Chat on both Twitter and Facebook. This has been episode, I believe, 170 of the show now. Dear God, we're getting up there.
How do we do it?
I just show up because I live here.
I'm going to admit something. I've watched the Kathy Lee and Hoda show before.
You mean the excuse to get drunk at 9 a.m. show?
So, but they have an intro that says basically, how do we do this day after day?
At wine. Literally, that's how they do it.
And when he said that, I thought of that.
What is Kathy Lee and Hoda?
Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda.
So they have like a 9 a.m. hour of the Today Show where it switches over from Sam Guthrie and company to Hoda and Kathy Lee.
Hoda Kotb.
Oh yeah. And they just drink wine and talk about stuff. And then it goes to Megyn Kelly.
Sometimes there's a George Bush's daughter. What's her name?
Laura Bush. She does a lot of things.
She's on there. Not
Jenna
Laura.
Bush.
Jenna Bush. And there's a DJ sometimes.
DJ.
I know way too much about this show.
What have you been doing?
We don't need to worry about that. What would happen when I used to work from home? We'd have the live today with Ryan and Kelly on.
Speaking of
and
which,
then Mom would always want to switch it over to Kathleen and Hoda because she liked them.
Speaking of which, I heard that officially died today.
Officially? That show's done?
Like, no, working from home.
Like the company shutting it down, or
no? Like,
where I worked?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we can talk about that later.
Yeah, there's some things that happen. That's
but
fine.
anyways,
John.
this has been episode 170 of the show. If you like it, aka Weekly Games Chat. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service of your choosing is, and you'll get a new episode every Wednesday, just like this one. Hey, this is actually a short one compared to most of them recently.
Well, before you officially, you guys might hate me for bringing this up. I don't know.
I was about to talk about ratings.
Okay.
You were
I thought you were done. I'll wait till you don't. No. Cause yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I truly apologize. They
won't know how to rate us.
I know. I made a mistake. It doesn't often happen on this show.
I forgive you.
Thank you.
I don't know if we can ever go forward.
We got to go back.
But if you like the show and they got a rating system wherever you're there, usually it's based on 5 stars. Maybe it's based on 10. Hey, give us a top rating. That helps people find the show. If you hate us and you feel so inclined to be vocal about it, give us 1 star less than whatever the top rating is, because that's what helps people know something is terrible because it didn't get a perfect rating. It's sound science. Everyone knows it's true. Even Elon Musk, as he gets high on Joe Rogan's show. Sean, what were you saying?
Well, when you hear this, it'll be September 12th. We're recording on September 11th. It's been 17 years.
Yes.
It's been on my mind. It's crazy how fast that 17 years has been. Crazy times back then. And we had a ton of heroes that day.
Shout out, if you want to hear a hero story, shout out to Colin Moriarty's podcast. He reposted on his Twitter today. His dad was actually a firefighter who was at Ground Zero. I believe he lived to tell the tale. And he has a side series of podcasts he does called Fireside Chats. And he did last year he did like a 2-hour interview with his dad about 9/11 and everything going through what it was like going through that. So if you want some great perspective of someone who actually lived through it and was there and saved many lives, hopefully.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Indeed.
Yeah. Totally endorse it. But that said.
Yeah.
We're going to beat Ole Miss Saturday.
We hope. Some fans feel like we're going to be uncomfortable.
I was worried after the first game because I was like, they got those wide receivers. Then I was like, they played some scrub team and yeah, they scored 76 points, but they gave up 50 in the process. So I'm like,
also last week, right? Some fans are like, we gave up so many yards against this team and this and that. When they got their yards, our 3s and 4s were
exactly. The kids were in.
Yeah.
The babies.
John, a 3 and 4 would indicate on the depth chart.
Unless you're talking about a 3-4 defense.
Yeah. Then that's a whole different thing.
Different concept.
But you rock, John.
Football.
Football.
Anyways, until next time, I will simply say game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Shawnee Poo and Chrissy Poo.
Your mom's box.
Game on, John. You gotta.
Oh, wait.
Did I?
Yeah, I don't know. He went so long.
I don't even know what just happened. You almost went into your mom's box mode.
I was totally. I was literally in your mom's box.
Oh,
I was there.
Whoa.
It was deep. It wasn't even like we were a box. Anyways, once again, your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Life of a thug. Balls deep.